So in today's Warthunder video, I'm going to be looking at the F-117 Nighthawk, which is the very first stealth fighter that we'll find within Warthunder. The fighter is very much an overestimation of this thing because this vehicle is going to be incredibly poor, and to be honest with you, it's probably the best way that Gaijin could have ever tried out stealth fighters within Warthunder. Now, once again, it's not really a stealth fighter, but it has the F within the name. Now, the thing about the F-117 that we're going to be covering in this video is we're going to be going over the vehicle itself. We're also going to go over how to obtain this vehicle, especially if you're confused on how to do it. And then at the very end of this video, you'll be able to see with timestamps, we're actually going to test out a bunch of SPAs. We're going to be testing out some aircraft against this vehicle as well to just see how Gaijin has handled the stealth aspect of this aircraft. Now, there's one thing to note that this is 100% a Warthunder dev server, so things can go wrong, things can be incorrect. And if you have these sources to actually bug report an issue with this vehicle, make sure to go do it on the Warthunder forums. Now, the thing about the F-117 is that it's a vehicle that has no armaments when it comes to actually dogfighting. So the fighter aspect of this vehicle is pretty much nothing. Whenever you first get this vehicle, and I've purposely not spaded it as of right now, you'll get 500-pound bombs and you also get 2 JDAMs. The only thing that you can ever take in this vehicle is 2 bombs in general. So it's going to be a little bit rough actually spading this vehicle out and being able to get it spaded. Now, the way that you get the F-117 is that it's a squadron vehicle, so it's not within the tech tree, it's not a premium. You get this vehicle by being in a squadron and playing a game, but you can buy it if you really want to, but I highly recommend against that. Just find a really good squadron that you can get into that always get the maximum amount of squadron RP. My squadron does that, and you can try to get into it within a Discord, and you'll be able to find information there about it. But at the same time, the F-117 is a vehicle that is pretty much poor in every aspect that you look at it. For CAS, it's going to be extremely poor. For ARB, it's going to be extremely poor. There's not really a redeeming factor of this vehicle other than you should be able to get through enemy air defenses and as well as get in like weird positions so the enemy just can't find you. Now, the thing about this vehicle is that in ground forces, it's going to be a battle rating of 10.0. In aircraft, which is ARB, it's going to be a battle rating of 8.7. So you're going to be facing sabers in this thing. And the thing about it is it's a subsonic vehicle, so it kind of makes sense. And you really don't have anything that you can actually do to like go against the sabers. So in retrospect, looking at this vehicle, it's pretty much just going to be a easy kill for majority of the aircraft that you'll see within ARB. So before we get on to the radar testing, let's actually go try this vehicle out, fly it around for a second, and then we will start shooting at it just to see what happens with this vehicle. So they updated a test drive as well. They updated the tire smoke, so that looks pretty cool as well. This vehicle does have a little bit of a hard time taking off, so be mindful of that. Also, another thing to be mindful of is this is a rank 6 vehicle, so most likely every game you'll have to take off with this vehicle, so it's going to be quite poor. Now, take off here, there's the gear going up. If you want to see what the bomb bay looks like, it opens up like that. You drop down your little 2 bombs, and then you be able to drop them. Then you can also close it as well. They actually have the cockpit modeled in this thing, funny enough, which it means it is already here. Hang on, I'll turn off the HUD so we can see it a little bit better. It looks really, really nice. I do have to admit, like everything about this cockpit is just really highly detailed and everything. They did upgrade a bunch of the graphics settings for Warthunder as well. The only real like huge problem about it is that ray tracing right now, at least on my rig, is definitely hindering the FPS. Like we're getting like 220 right now. I was getting like 14 with it maxed out on ray tracing, so yeah, we definitely can't use it right now. Yeah, let's see here. Open this up. It does have a bomb computer, so if you want to just use dumb bombs, you can, or you can use the guided stuff. But overall, I mean, it's an F-117, right? It should be stealthy, and that's what we're going to be testing out next. So our first test here, we have the Panzer, which is going to be the extreme end of what you would ever see in the F-117. As you can see, we have him right there. I am trying to lock him as we speak, and it is not locking. Oh, there we go. We got him at 15 kilometers away. So it's not really that we're going to try to kill this thing. We're just trying to see what can possibly be locked and what can't be locked. We lose lock with that one. I didn't enable or anything. Seems like we're losing it again. Let's do it again. If it loses it, it slowly like goes away and gets back towards it every once in a while, which is very, very kind of interesting. But it doesn't seem like you would be able to lose it. Like here's our search radar. I mean, we should be able to see him. See, he pings up every once in a while. See, there he was on the top left up there. See if he pings again. As we can see him right there. All right, so he pings again. We can lock him though. The great question is if we turn our radar off. So if we turn this guy off, are we able to just like IRST? Yeah, we are. Look at that. I think that's going to be like the big problem with the F-117 is the IRST is going to be what kills this thing a ton because you don't really need a radar, and if you know where the enemy spawns are at and everything, you could just definitely shoot these guys down with just having that and no radar required at all. But you have to know where these guys are at, and that's going to be like probably the huge problem with trying to shoot these things down. But let's get on to the next radar, which will be the Tunguska. Alright, so the next vehicle we have here is the good old Tungi, and the Tungi is going to be a kind of an interesting one because as we can see the F-117 is there again. We're not really able to lock it all with the radar, which I do think he is way out of range because this thing's only set at like 10 kilometers. I do also believe this thing gets a better radar if you do upgrade it, but we're having to do it this way just because going through like a custom battle just crashes this guy. So it doesn't seem like right now if we turn off the radar, are we able to get an IRST lock on this? As of right now, no. But as soon as he comes in, we'll see if we can start seeing him on the radar. Alright, so as of right now, we skipped to the video a little bit to just get him a little bit closer. It honestly, like, we're able to spot him with this, like, able to spot him with just, like, the view range now. But it doesn't look like we're able to get him. I think he's within definitely 10 kilometers right now. So for at least this radar set, I mean, like, we'll turn off the radar again. Let's see if we can actually lock him with, like, IRST. It still doesn't seem to want to lock him. So maybe, I mean, like, I know there's the upgraded version of this one, right? So maybe this one is almost immune. Like, maybe you just won't be able to find him, which is kind of interesting in a way. But yeah, that's definitely closer than the Panzer was. The Panzer, whatever the way you want to say it. I mean, like, we're not able to lock him at all. That is kind of crazy. I mean, oh, there we go. It finally locked. It's going to lose it, ain't it? Oh, it's trying to so badly to lock him. So 5 kilometers is what it took to finally lock this guy. And is that even like a radar lock? I don't think it is. Like, let's see. Is it locking? Yeah, I think it's an IRST lock. That's actually kind of funny. So, yeah, you'd be dead if you're in this guy. So he would already dropped his JDAM or his GBU and easily killed you. So it's not going to be that great of a little thing with this, at least this SPA. But let's get on to the next one, which will be the Strela. Let's try some IR missiles for once. Alright, so we did move the F-117 in a little bit closer just because, well, this is a Strela. You're not going to hit like an F-117 from like 20 kilometers away, right? But the question is, and the question I kind of have is, will this thing be able to lock with its contrast lock? Or we'll put both of them on. Or we'll be able to lock just in general. Maybe. No, it's not going to lock this at all, at least right now. We're able to lock him there. I'm not sure if that was a contrast or a... what's it called, lock? We'll try again in just a second. Yeah, let's see if that actually hits. Should. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Let's try it again. So we'll go out and come back in again, and we'll put it on each one of the modes to just see what it does and see if it is a difference, because I believe that's a contrast lock. I believe that was definitely not a lock with the IR guidance, because this thing is supposed to have less of an IR signature. But I mean, be honest with you, it might not. Who knows? It might not be coded in yet. As you can see, we're not getting one as of right now, though. Let's switch it over to contrast. Or is it contrasting going to be able to do it? Nothing. Alright, so we locked with contrast. Now let's get off of that. Okay, so yeah, it was a contrast lock. So a vehicle like with Stingers or something is going to be like harder. So contrast, we're able to lock it. And let's get rid of it. IR, we're not. So, I mean, we're not going to go over every IR missile because, well, they all basically will act the same when it comes to lock. But this one's going to be a little bit different. So, as you can see right here, if you don't have contrast lock, it's going to be way harder to lock the F-117. So, let's see if we ever even get a lock with this guy. We would be dead by now. He would already dropped his bombs. So, there wouldn't be like anything really supporting us here. Okay, it's locking or tried to. I think we're finally getting like to the back of the engine a little bit. Still not able to like IRST him. There we go. We finally get a lock after so long with this, and it's after he's pretty much already passed us and we would have been bombed already. So yeah, that's Estrella. Honestly, a bit concerning for any of the SPAs which do not have a contrast lock, but we'll have to see how that kind of goes. Let's get on to the next vehicle, which will be an aircraft. Alright, so I really have no hope for this wonderful F4C of actually ever finding the F-117. As you can see, he is in front of us right now. He is in open skies, and even with an ACM lock, or trying to lock him with ACM, basically nothing. Like, we don't see him at all when it comes to this. Maybe once we get super duper close, we'll be able to like see him, but as you can see, with something like this vehicle, even 3 kilometers in, still nothing. There we go. It finally locked him within like a kilometer away from him. So that's kind of insane. I mean, it means that you should, at least for like the early radar sets, like the only one that you'll ever find is like the little demon, the F3D, be able to lock you and actually shoot missiles at you. But anything else should have a hard time. Go and try it again if we can get another lock on him. See, anything? Anything? Come on, there we go. 1 kilometer. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Alright, let's see if we get behind him, if we can even like spot him on like the radar at all. Something that you don't really do that much is like spotting people with the radar, but we'll see if we even like see him at all. I don't think we probably will. Probably have to get like super close again. Alright, we do spot him actually. Alright, we pinged him. We're pinging him. Okay. We're actually getting enough to where we can ping him now. At least from the back, and he's also turning. Oh yeah, I didn't make him turn after he gets so far. Okay, so we're actually able to lock him a decent amount with that one. Alright, I'm going to restart this test mission, and we're going to do a head-on again and see if we can lock him from range if we get into a better position. Let's get right there and just... Alright, so now we're back. We 100% again have our nose pointed directly at the F-117. He's coming pretty much directly at us, and as of right now, nothing. Let's see, can I actually make it a little bit wider just so it scans a little bit more? I mean, that was not going to like help us much. Probably this was just going to be a better one. Yeah, still nothing. Locking him at least coming forward to us. We should get something in about like right here in this kilometer range. There we go. We get him 1 kilometer away. Yeah, but it seems like if you get behind them though, it seems like their radar cross section isn't as good. So if they're coming towards you, I think you're fine. But as soon as you get behind them, like we're about to now, which we need to get a little bit more distance away from them, it seems like it's going to lock him. Honestly, by looking at this, it's not really worth going to like more powerful radars, because like even if this guy can lock him, I think most other radars will be able to lock him as well. Let's see here, yeah. I don't know, maybe it's just not finished yet, but yeah, I mean we're able to see him, even with something with an F4C. So a little bit concerning, but at the same time, I mean it is what it is, I guess, with F-117. I think it's like more or less you're gonna be harder to spot, but you're definitely not gonna be invulnerable to radars. I think is the best way to put it with this. Like, especially for the people that want to play sim with this guy and like kind of just bomb around and stuff. I think he should be fine, but I mean, as you can see, let's actually do. Hang on, put our radar. I got different controls on depth search. Be with me in a second. Or hang on, I think I actually got this. Yeah, there we go. Let's do 19 kilometers. You can see it a little bit better. Yeah, we're able to lock him. Not like he's vulnerable or anything. Yeah, there he is. Honestly, kind of surprised in a way. So yeah, this is pretty much everything to know about the F-117. It's going to be very strong against some like SPAs like the Tungi, as well as vehicles like the LAV and all those guys that just have stingers like the Ocelot and the the Gepard 1A2, like all those vehicles are going to be just a struggle against this vehicle because of the reduced heat munitions. And then also the way to play any of the guided munition machines is you go super high, get to where nothing can touch you, and drop your bombs and go back to base. But at the same time, whenever you look at this vehicle, right, it's a vehicle that is very poor in pretty much everything else. Like it can't really do anything to aircraft. It can't really do much to even the ground forces because it has 2 bombs, and that is it. So honestly, it's going to be a pretty little interesting aircraft. But at the end of the day, would you rather have an F-117 or you have other vehicles which maybe can be better at CAS? So if everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next Warthunder video.